Hello and welcome to the Daily Mill for Monday, 23rd of October 2023. In today's Mill news, well, they've done it again. Bit of a shocker, late night news that they put out. I think this got broken at 8 o'clock, maybe 9 o'clock. Dave Carolan departs Millwall. This is from millfc.co.uk. Millwall Football Club can confirm that head of performance and health, Dave Carolan, has mutually agreed to leave the Lions. Carolan joined Millwall on a full-time basis in 2020, having previously assisted Gary Rowett and his coaching staff on a consultancy basis. The club would like to thank Dave for his efforts during his time at the club and wish him well for the future. So what's gone on here then? What's going on? Don't know. What do you think it is? We can speculate. Shall we speculate? Obviously, did the other coaches there, namely Adam Barrett, say, can we get rid of this guy as well? Did he ask to leave when Gary Rowett left? Does he know what Gary Rowett's up to? Is Gary Rowett got another job lined up and he's ready to go and join him there? Who knows? But another one out the door. Is Paul Robinson next? Now, I was looking at the bench when I watched the Preston game on TV. I was looking at the bench. Saw Paul Robinson there. Saw Kevin Nugent there. Saw Andy Marshall there. Looking a bit chubby now. Is he stress eating? Is he worried about his job as well? Although they do just say the camera hand puts on a lot of pounds, but he did look a bit bloated. Yeah, who's next? Russian roulette. And who's mutually departing all of these people? Interesting, isn't it? But we wait and see. So, moving on to this. We've got a lot of stuff today because obviously it's Monday and we've got a game on Tuesday tomorrow, if you didn't know that. And so we've got a lot of news, some leftover stuff from the weekend, some stuff about the manager coming in, and then obviously previewing the game tomorrow. So got a lot to get through, so let's just get through it. So from southwarknews.co.uk, maybe just a lack of pressure. Jake Cooper and Adam Barrett theorise on Mill's home and away form role reversal. Lions have long had a reputation of being solid at home but struggling away. But that does not appear to be the case so far this season. So obviously I think this was these interviews were done post-match. Jake Cooper and Adam Barrett were post-match interviews in yesterday's video. So I think they interviewed them then and just sat on it for today. Jake Cooper and Adam Barrett have given their take on Mill's traditional home and away form swapping around. For years, the Lions have had a reputation of being difficult to beat at home, but struggling away from the Bear Pit of the Den. But that trait is unexpectedly reversed in the opening few months of the 23-24 season with the away draw at Preston North End on Saturday, the latest positive sign of Mill's health on the road. The Lions are now the only side alongside Leicester City and Ipswich Town to have lost once or fewer times away this season in the Championship. But troubles are brewing in SC16 this season, with Millwall currently having the 4th worst home record in the division. Jake Cooper believes a lack of pressure and the tactics of opposition teams could have something to do with the role reversal. Asked about the home and away form, he said, I don't know, it was always the opposite back in the day, maybe just a lack of pressure from the home fans as we built up to be this so-called bigger team in the division. Teams come to the Den and try and nullify us, and we can come away from home and focus on our own sort of game, and the teams have to come out and take the game to us, and maybe that suited us a little better. Caretaker manager Adam Barrett said, well, it's quite difficult. It's hard to put your finger on, otherwise we would have sorted it out by now. It's definitely something which we want to rectify. We have a difficult game on Tuesday, as we know, against dangerous opposition, as we found out last year. We have to make sure we get our work done, but we want to make the Den a fortress like it can be. And when it's like that, it's extremely difficult to come and play. Yeah, it's very, very upsetting to the temperament to see a team score and celebrate at the Den. Very upsetting, indeed. Now, moving on to this, George Saville. Where has he gone? Has anyone seen him? Shall we start putting up missing posters? This is from londonnewsonline.co.uk, the South London Press's online website. It is really important for the group. Millwall caretaker boss on lack of game time for George Saville. Millwall caretaker manager Adam Barrett says that George Saville is fully in my plans. The midfielder not being a regular starter since Alan Campbell's loan arrival from Luton Town at the end of the last transfer window. Campbell and Castellano have been selected to play the two central spots with Saville and Billy Mitchell both benched. Saville has not started a championship match for the Lions since the start of September. He has played 30 minutes of football since September the 23rd, coming off the bench very late on to score against Plymouth Argyle earlier this month. The former Middlesbrough and Chelsea midfielder was an unused sub in Saturday's 1-1 draw at Preston North End. Barrett told the South London Press, the guys in the middle of the pitch have got a good couple of results. George Saville is an experienced player and he's a valuable and important member of the squad. There aren't two ways about it. He's great to have around as long as I'm taking charge. Savs is going to be in and around it. He has got a big part to play. You've got to pick a team that you think suits who you're playing and gets the best out of them. Savs is fully in my plans without a doubt. We all know what he can do and there are no issues, no problems. And I expect him to keep working hard in training. His attitude has been excellent. He's really important for the group. Yes. So obviously George Saville being missing for the first team, a lot of fans not really on board with that, especially when they're not big fans of Alan Campbell. They don't really see what he's adding to the team. I would say it seems to me, looking at the stats videos, I know most of you don't give a shit about that, going by the views on the stats videos on my channel, but his passing accuracy is very good. Him and Casper Denor, their passing accuracy is very high, so that may be a factor. Some people have mentioned, well, maybe it's because the loan agreement says he has to play a certain number of games. Maybe that's just till January, and then maybe after. Here's the thing: maybe there's a recall clause in the contract, and if he's not playing, they can recall him. So maybe Millwall are playing the long-term game for the whole season, playing Alan Campbell until January the 31st. And as soon as January 31st comes and the recall clause is gone for Luton, we stick two fingers up to them and say, fuck you, and then it'll be best man comes, Saville or Campbell. So we don't know. It may be that. So some people saying, well, we might be forced to play him because of the terms of the loan. We might have to pay more money if we don't loan him, and obviously the club's obsessed with money at the moment, as you'll see in a minute, no doubt, when we go onto the Millwall pages and they fling adverts at us trying to sell us coats. But yeah, so who knows? But George Saville missing out. Like I said, maybe after Luton's recall clause has elapsed, we might see Saville starting to play some more games. But until then, I don't know. But it's kind of weird on Preston. Obviously, the big thing was Saville was being kept out of the team by the evil, nasty man, Gary Rowett. Adam Barrett comes in, expected to start Saville, doesn't start Saville. And then when he subs Alan Campbell off, which he has quite regularly because he doesn't look fit, Billy Mitchell comes in. So that was a weird one. But hey ho, on we go. Moving on to this from southernnews.co.uk. Mill get injury boost with Edomu Emakhu expected to be fit for tomorrow night's game against Blackburn. The 19-year-old impressed on his first start against Preston on Saturday. Edomu Emakhu expected to be fit for tomorrow night's clash against Blackburn Rovers. The 19-year-old hobbled off against Preston North End on Saturday after misjudging a sliding tackle. But caretaker boss Adam Barrett believes the issue was just cramp and expects the Irishman to be available tomorrow. It's a boost for the Lions after Imaku turned in an exciting performance at Deepdale during a 1-1 draw. He hit the woodwork and proved to be a constant threat with his menacing pace before he was substituted off. Barrett told News It Den, "Well, hopefully with Adoma it was just cramped. It was his first start. He hasn't had a load of minutes, and then you get into an intense game. He works his socks off for the team. He's not used to that type of intensity. I'm fully expecting Adomo to be fine." In other injury news, Kevin Nisbet and Sean Hutchinson are edging closer to fitness and could be back in time for Saturday's trip to Watford. Nisbet last played in 2-2 draw with Hull City before the second international break of the season, while Captain Hutchinson has been out since before the first international break after going off against Birmingham City in September. Barrett said, "I'm hoping that Kevin Nisbet and Sean Hutchinson might be able to rejoin the group by the end of the week, so that's a positive. Sean has missed quite a few weeks now. That will be his first introduction with the players, but it'll be great to have him back. Duncan Watmore and Ryan Leonard are going to be a few more weeks, so they're not going to be available for the next few games. I wouldn't have thought so." So there we go. Injury latest from caretaker manager Adam Barrett, unbeaten in his current spell as Millwall caretaker manager. Will that continue tomorrow? Who knows? Now we're going to move on to the loan watch, and then we're going to go on to the manager talk, and then we're going to finish with prediction. So we've got the loan watch. It's Monday, so we've got the loan watch, and Alex Mitchell scores for Lincoln City. I thought it was with his head. No, it's with his foot. Alex Mitchell produced a striker's finish on Saturday as the lonely defender scored the winning goal in Lincoln City's 1-0 Sky Bet League One victory at Fleetwood Town. Mitchell pounced on a loose ball to slam home from close range at Highbury Stadium and give the Himps a first ever success at the home of the Cod Army. Take a look at Alex's winning goal courtesy of Lincoln City's social media below and read an interview with the defender at this link. Good stuff there. I like it. Shall we watch it? There you go. He wasn't offside. Elsewhere, Abdul Malik was handed the full 90 minutes as 10-man Wealdstone drew 1-1 at home with Bournemouth in the Vanarama National League. Carl Smith playing 70 minutes. Joe Wright was an unused substitute in Salford City's 2-2 draw at home to Swindon Town. Chinockley was absent from Bromley's 3-1 success over Oxford City, with Nana Boateng still working his way back to fitness following a foot injury. Here are the upcoming fixtures, so there's some tomorrow. Well, they're all tomorrow. What we got? We've got Wilson versus Oxford City, Lincoln versus Charlton, so good luck to Alex Mitchell in that. Bromley at home to Dorking Wanderers. Will Chin playing that? Is he injured? I don't know. Speaking of Bromley, they obviously played Wealdstone in the qualifying round for the first round of the FA Cup. They beat them 3-2. Bromley got into the first round of the FA Cup. They got a draw at home to Blackpool. So Bromley versus Blackpool of League One. And that game will be on the television. So if Chinockley's fit for that, he'll play, no doubt playing that. So well done to everyone at Bromley getting to the first round of the FA Cup, getting a tie on TV. He is hoping for a win for Bromley and progress to the end. Now, wouldn't it be funny if we played them in the third round of the FA Cup? Millwall versus Bromley or Bromley versus Millwall in an actual competitive game, rather than the annual pre-season friendly that we have. That will be quite the crazy circumstances. But there you go. Good luck to Bromley on television in the FA Cup first round. Now, talking of managers, from the LondonNewsOnline.co.uk, Millwall not setting a deadline for appointing a new manager. Oh, well, great. Shall we get one before the end of the season, though? How about that? Millwall not setting a deadline in their search for Gary Rat's successor, but determined to conduct a thorough process. The Lions hierarchy are open-minded over candidates and will be meeting them over the next couple of weeks. 2 weeks. At least 2 weeks. Couple means two, doesn't it? I think couple means two and few weeks means three. Jesus. The Championship Club will repeat the approach they did last in 2019 when Rowett was eventually determined as the right successor to follow on from Neil Harris. It means that any potential new bosses will face more than one round of interviews. Oh, it's like fucking what do you call it? The Apprentice. You're hired, you're fired to land a den vacancy. Mill chairman James Berylson and his mother Amy's Mrs. Berylson herself is going to be doing it. Are flying over for, or maybe, well, she just says they're flying over for tomorrow's home fixture. So maybe she's not in the interviews, I don't know. Against Blackburn, a move which was planned before Rowett's departure. Rowett left by mutual consent last Wednesday. Obviously, he wasn't fired, it was mutual consent. Mill have full faith and confidence in the caretaker management team, which is being led by Adam Barrett and the playing squad. Barrett kicked off his temporary tenure with a 1-1 draw at Preston North End on Saturday. Zion Fleming's excellent strike seeing them bounce back from conceding early. Barrett will once again take charge for the visit of Rovers. Mill will then head to Watford on Saturday. So it looks like Rowett's going to get more than 3 games this time round. Looks like he might get the full 5. As many said, like next international break might be the time when the new manager will come in. So yeah, a couple of weeks. Holy moly. Now, moving on to this. Southernnews.co.uk. As Millwall plot their next managerial move, it seems the key to being the next permanent Lions boss may lay in 2 players. Adam Barrett may not be the favourite for the managerial vacancy, but as caretaker finds himself in a uniquely powerful position. Adam Barrett has been here before. The resignation of Neil Harris 4 years ago propelled the coach into the top job. Just 2 years after he joined Mill's coaching staff, Gary Rowett's departure last week means the 43-year-old is in charge once again, and it is not clear yet how long his stay will be. He may have managed just 3 games in 2019, but even that small bit of experience as a championship boss would have given Barrett plenty of knowledge and likely have whetted the appetite for becoming a permanent manager sooner rather than later. I did not know that. Okay, this is a News at Den Plus article. If you didn't know that, they're doing like premium content. You need to have a subscription, or you can pay per article. It's 30p an article and 90p a week. I normally don't bring these up because obviously I can't read them to you, but I didn't check because I'm quite busy today. Quite a lot busy. Now, here we go with a clickbait. Is this real or is this fake? The 72.co.uk update emerges on Mill's chances of landing 50-year-old as new boss, and quite bizarrely they cut off his head, which is which is highly unhelpful. But I can tell you that's Kevin Muscat, not Muscat. Mill has seen plenty of names linked to their vacant managerial post. The decision to part ways with Gary Rowett was one that caught people off guard, but is one that some sections of Lions Sport had been calling for. Since then, former Mill man Muscat has been mentioned as one candidate for the job. He appeared in betting odds early on and has given his previous time as a favourite at the Den. There were some calls for him to return to the dugout. However, reporter Alex Crook has now said on Twitter that the Australian is unlikely to be named the club's new boss. And here you go. So Alex Crook, I believe he works for Sky Sports. He says, understand, Kevin Muscat is unlikely to be the new Millwall manager at this stage. What does that mean? What does that mean? Obviously, what you need to realise that this is the same Sky Sports that put up on their Sky Sports News section that Millwall had approached Neil Warnock. Obviously, just repeating what a clickbait site like this had said, which wasn't even true, because Millwall then put out via their proxy pen warrior, Rich Corley, that Millwall had not approached Neil Warnock for the job. And in fact, Millwall had not approached anyone for the job. So, nah. Don't believe everything you read. So, but what I would say, what does this mean? What does it mean? What I think it means in life and in football generally, what you get is you get some club do something, or someone do something that turns out to be very successful, and then what you'll find is that people look at that from the outside and just copy it blindly, hoping that they will get the same success. You've seen that with the docu-series stuff with Drive to Survive, whatever it's called, the F1 one, which has kind of propelled the Grand Prix in the USA, which is utterly bizarre to me, that they've actually started taking to it. And you've seen copycats of that. The Wrexham one, other clubs are doing one. Different sports are doing ones now. The little docu-series, they're just copying each other now. It's just, that's what they do. And obviously we've seen in the Premier League, the most successful manager over the first 9 games of his starting career in the Premier League is one Ange Postecoglou, who is an Australian man who managed in Japan. And we have Kevin Muscat, who is an Australian man who is managing in Japan. He's very close to winning the J-League title. Now, obviously, you probably don't think that who gives a fuck, it's Japanese football, that's probably dog shit. Well, it isn't. It's actually quite a high standard, and what you need to realise is that Australia, even though they were basically guaranteed a shot at qualifying for the World Cup every time in the Oceania group, obviously they had to have a playoff, but they were guaranteed that. They decided to leave that and go to Asia because the games were more competitive and they had more places to play. I think it was like 5 at the time. It may be up to like 6 or 7 now. So literally Australia just said goodbye to New Zealand and everyone else and just went to Asia. And Japan are in the FIFA the FIFA World Rankings, and they're in the top 20 all the time. Japanese football is not dog shit. So for a manager to do well in that league, you would think he's a good manager, or he's just got the best players. Could be that, but I think Kevin Muscat's hoping that people will see what Ange Postecoglou has done, and they will say, "Hang on, Kevin Muscat's an Australian manager in Japan. Let's get him in." So I think he's hoping for a Premier League team. Obviously, he was trying to get to Rangers. I think that was something that did try to happen, not paper talk. Because obviously he himself is trying to repeat what Postecoglou did, which is go from Japan to Scotland and then to the Premier League. So he would go to Rangers, and Rangers for some reason rejected that. Said, "No, you're all right." So there you go. Maybe Kevin Muscat's wages are, maybe he's getting very well paid in Japan and he doesn't want to come to Millwall and get a pay cut. And not only that, but in terms of the Championship and Championship managers going into the Premier League, like, Premier League clubs don't turn to the Championship to get their managers anymore. They really don't. They go abroad. They don't care. They're trying to get Thomas Franks. They're trying to get Jurgen Klopp. Who knew about German Klopp before he comes to England? Not many people. Maybe some hardcore people in football. Your man on your street didn't know who the fuck Jurgen Klopp was. He ended up winning the Premier League. So, yeah, I think they kind of, the Championship is not a breeding ground for Premier League managers anymore, if it ever was. And I think with so many teams in the Premier League having foreign players, as an English manager, you're probably better off going to a league abroad, to be honest with you, where they have a lot of foreign managers, where they have a lot of foreign players, and doing well there, rather than being a manager in the Championship. That's the only way you're probably going to get a Premier League job as a Championship manager, is getting promoted from the Championship, to be honest with you. So we'll see. Then they talk about some other Muscat stuff. It's just to make you click down, scroll down, so you can get to the adverts and you see more of the adverts. But so does this mean anything? I don't know what the fuck it means. He's still quite short in the betting, so maybe someone's trying to get the price of Kevin Muscat to go out so they can put a bet on it. Doesn't seem to have worked. Obviously, the Neil Warnock stuff did work. The price for him came in, so I don't know what's happening there. But we'll see. It's going to take a couple of weeks, so hold on to your hats now. Adam Barrett asked if he expects to be interviewed for the Millwall manager vacancy. He says focus is on prepping players. Oh, interesting. So this is obviously from the londonnewsonline.co.uk. Adam Barrett asked if he expects to be interviewed for Millwall manager vacancy. Adam Barrett has talked about keeping his attention firmly on Mill's match preparations as the club begin interviewing potential new managerial appointments. Lions parted company with Garner out last week by mutual consent. He was not fired. He was not sacked. Barrett, who has been the long-serving number 2, has taken over first-team affairs on a temporary basis. Mill will look set to spend the next couple of weeks running the rule over contenders for the Den hot seat. Former Crystal Palace and Southend United centre-back Barrett has sidestepped questions over whether he wants to be considered for the position. Yes, it sounds like he did not deny it. He had a non-denial denial. He did not deny it. Mill drew 1-1 at Preston North End on Saturday and follow up tomorrow's home game against Blackburn with a short trip to Watford. Asked point blank by the South London Press if he expected to be interviewed for the vacancy, Barrett said, I've just been so flat out with everything else. There's been a hell of a lot to deal with, All I'm concerned with really is Blackburn tomorrow night. I've got so much going on that I've got to concentrate and make sure the lads are focused on going out and put a performance on. I've got to feed the dog, or, I've got to let the cats in. I've got to put the bins out. I've got a lot to do. I was pleased with Saturday. There were bits in there that I was very happy with and bits we've got to improve. That's all I can say on it. It's game by game for me. I'm sure the club and guys above will speak to me in due course, but where the games have come thick and fast, there's hardly been any time to think about anything else, I fully expect that the interviews to start. They've got to do what they feel is best. I fully expect that. But it's not something I can think about too much. My job is to try and get the team prepared as best as possible with all the speculation going on around it. I need to keep my focus, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. Well, someone should tell him it's going to take a couple of weeks and he should expect to be the manager until the next international break. Maybe if he reads that other article or watches this video, hi Adam Barrett. Yeah, you've got a couple of weeks, mate, so... But you see, he didn't say no there. He didn't say no. He didn't say, I don't want the job. So, we'll see. We will see. Now, what are we doing? Oh yeah, tomorrow's match ball sponsors. Oh, do you want to buy a coat? Tomorrow's Blade Access or tomorrow's match ball sponsors. I don't think this isn't the first time we've seen them. We seem to see the same names over and over, so fair play for these companies to sticking their money in they're sticking their hands in the pocket and getting the money out and sponsoring the club. So my name is Terry Lindsay and I am the director of Blade Access Limited. We offer specialist powered access solutions up to 103 meters working heights and are the UK's largest independent specialist retail company. If you or your company could liken yourself to a Millwall player, past or present, who would it be and why? I'm going to pick my favourite player of all time, Tim Cahill. He left everything out on the pitch and was always honest and was a true leader. How long have you followed Mill? Do you have any special links to the club? I've followed Mill all my life with a long list of family members. I wouldn't say I have any special links with the club. However, I did sponsor the back of the shorts a few years back with a previous business I worked for. I've always been interested in trying to support the club. Do you remember your experience at your first Mill game? When was this? Yes, it was a midweek game, standing in the Coldblow Lane Inn against AFC Bournemouth, where a young Jermaine Defoe played. I believe that must have been at the New Den. And why were you standing? You should have been sitting. You want to watch that nowadays? You'll get thrown out for that. You'll get put on the Gestapo will march you out. How can Millwall supporters benefit from your company's services? If any Millwall supporters have a requirement to safely work at height in a commercial or industrial environment, then we are here to support your business throughout the UK with the most advanced powered access equipment available in the market. Backed by industry leading knowledge and experience, we have the solutions for even the most challenging of working at height in requirements. Visit Blade Access's website at bladeaccess.co.uk. So there you go, match ball sponsor for tomorrow's home game, Blackburn Rovers at the Den. Again, the last time they were here obviously was the horrible last game that John Burleson watched he came to the game, and I'm sure he was quite happy that we were 3-1 up at half time, and like most of us, absolutely gutted when we lost the game 4-3. Yeah, that's it, isn't it? Now, I didn't seem to understand this, but now I do, especially with that last game. It seems that Blackburn Rovers are one of our bogey clubs. I didn't realise that they were, but at home against Blackburn Rovers, we have one win in the last 11 games. One win in the last 11 games. In fact, I can tell you, you can look through all these games, going all the way back to 1938, at home against Blackburn Rovers, we have only kept 1, 2, 3, 4 clean sheets in, what is that? That must be like 25 games. Shall we count them up? 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 10, 12, 15, 16, 17, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 27. So 26. Tomorrow's will be 27. In 26 games against Blackburn Rovers at the Den, the old one and the new one, we've only kept 4 clean sheets. That is ridiculous. That is abnormal. And it does appear that Blackburn Rovers are one of our bogey teams. Who knew? Who knew? Now we know, especially after what happened last season. The last day of the season, 3-1 to 4-3. Fuck that. So I would say Adam Barrett, if he doesn't know he's gonna get interviewed for the job, well, I'll tell you what, mate. If you win this game tomorrow, I would print this out and bring this to your interview, mate. Because if you can say, "Oh look, we beat Blackburn Rovers at home under my management," show them this, and that would be impressive. So it does seem, if we keep a clean sheet, we'll probably win. Can we keep a clean sheet? We've got Barrett in goal. It seems to be 50% of the shots on target of him end up as goals. Except there were like a few exceptions where that wasn't the case, but that's what he's at. That's the level he's at now. So if Blackburn Rovers have 4 shots on our goal, they're going to score 2. That's best option. Looking on the bright side, can we stop them from having shots on target? Can the defence do that? The only way they're going to do that is probably if we attack them more than they attack us. But if we sit back and try and go on the counter, probably not going to happen. Because we're going to have to let them come at us for us to counter, and can we deal with that? Don't know. It might turn into a bit of a shootout. Can we win a shootout? We're depleted in attack. We need everyone to be firing. Notably Bradshaw, who was a bit of a dud in the last game, and Maku, who obviously went off injured, although they're saying it was just cramp. Others as well. Should we play Longman instead of Brian? But then you've got Brian's set pieces, so how do you deal with that? Should we play Essay? Where does he play? Yeah, like I said, I don't know. Do we try and keep the clean sheet, which we've only managed to do 4 times? Or do we try and compete in a shootout and outperform them? I don't know. But moving on to whoscored.com. So here are some, basically the same information, just with some more colours. So last 6 games at Millwall, we've won 1, we've drawn 2, we lost 3. We failed to score in 2 of those games. 2-0 wins to Blackburn in 2021-2019. The only win we had was an anomaly. Why? It was on the 14th of July 2020. That was the COVID season. We were playing a league game in July, for fuck's sake. What's that about? So yeah. Did we win that on merit, or did we win that because of the circumstances? In those 6 games, we scored 7 goals. They've scored 11. We've had one red card. That was all the way back in November 2014. Now, moving along. So here's the table as it stands. We're 14th, they're 15th. Both on 16 points, both on negative goal difference, -2 for us, -3 for them. If you look at the colours, they were on a 4-game losing streak and they've won their last 2 games. Okay. We are on a 2-game drawing streak. And we've only lost one of our last 6 games. We have a completely balanced record of played 12, won 4, drawn 4, lost 4. We've scored 12, conceded 14. They have conceded 21. They've scored 18. They have only drawn 1 game, so they seem to. This is similar to last season. So it seems to be a thing under their new manager. What's his name, Thomason. They either win or they lose. So it seems to be they're going for it. They go for it in games, and they either win or they lose. So if we go for home form, we are dog shit. Number 21 at home. We've got 2 wins, 1 draw, 3 defeats. They haven't drawn at home yet. We've scored 6 and conceded 9. That's in 6 games. So we're averaging 1 goal a game at home. That season ticket was well worth it, wasn't it? No wonder Gary Rowett was mutually departed. He wasn't sacked. Everyone. He was mutually departed. Now, away form. Where are Blackburn? Aha! They're not very good away. They've won 2, drawn 1, lost 3, scored 10, conceded 10. Aha. So, that might be something. Current form table overall. So we've only, like I said, we've only lost 1 in the last 6. They've lost 4, but that was they're on a run of 2 wins in a row. In terms of home form, this is the last 6 games. It's pretty much the same. If we see what those games are, so Millwall's home form, Blackburn Rovers away form. 8-0 against H Town. Who is that? Hartlepool Town? No, Huddersfield Town. That was in the cup. Will that show up? Harrogate Town. Okay. Obviously, Millwall's last home game. Basically, 2 goals that were defensive mistakes. Probably our best 45 minutes in the second half of that game. But we conceded 2 goals. Before that, we conceded 3. Before that, against Rotherham, who are basically a League One team walking, we kept a clean sheet. Disaster against Leeds before that, losing 3-0. And then we managed to scrape out against Stoke a 1-0 win. And then going all the way back to the first game of the season, a 1-0 defeat at home to Bristol City. So we either keep a clean sheet or we fail to score. Except for the last game, where we played 2-2. We got the 2-2, which kind of broke the spell of either winning to 0 or losing to 0. So now both teams score. Is this good for a shootout? Is this what we need to do? Can we beat Blackburn 3-2, 2-1, 4-3 even? God, can you imagine that? 4 goals? 4 goals in a home game? Damn. But here we go with Blackburn. Now, pretty similar. They have, in their last game at QPR, as we know, are dog shit. They beat them 4-0. But before that, they failed to score against Coventry. Coventry won 1-0. They had a shootout against Ipswich, which they lost 4-3. But before that, they went to Plymouth and they lost 3-0. Then they went to Harrogate Town, smashed them 8-0. And then they went to Watford and won 1-0. So that Harrogate Town win come in the midweek in the League Cup. 3 days after they went to Watford and won 1-0. So similarly, they either win to 0 or they lose to 0. Except for the Ipswich game, which was a shootout. So they were on a 3-game away game losing streak before they beat the dog shit QPR. Because they lost to Plymouth, they lost to Ipswich, and they lost Coventry. And they went to a really bad team and beat them 4-0. Are we a really bad team? No, we're not. So could we end up with... So maybe we should go for this way Coventry played against them and get the 1-0. Can we do that? Like I said, can we keep a clean sheet? It seems like I've said, however many shots are on target, 50% of them will end up in goal. So can we keep them down to 1 shot on target and hope that Bar actually fucking saves it? Well, we certainly do hope so. Strengths and weaknesses. Ooh, they have a lot of weaknesses. They have trouble avoiding offside, trouble defending set pieces. Well, obviously, they were definitely going to defend our set pieces because Jake Cooper will not be giving anything by the referee. They have trouble defending against long shots. Are you reading this, Iron Fleming? And they have trouble stopping opponents from creating chances. Match forecast. Millwall will score from a set piece situation, very likely, so that suggests that Ryan should start. Millwall will dominate in the air, likely. Millwall will score as a result of individual score, likely. Blackburn will dominate possession. Sounds like it's going to be a bit of a decent game. Whether we actually win it or not, I don't know. Match facts. Blackburn are undefeated in 9 of their last 10 away matches against Millwall in all competitions. Yes, like I said, bogey team. And Blackburn win or draw is 1.53 at Bet365. That's not an advert, it's just on Twitter. So let's get on to the prediction. What do they predict? WhoScored.com. Weirdly, they predict Mitchell will come in for Alan Campbell. I don't know why they're predicting that. Bizarrely. Now, Millwall responded well after falling behind inside 3 minutes against Preston on Saturday, hitting back thanks to a strike from a range from Starman. Too many froms there. Shouldn't really use those words together like that. From Starman Zion Fleming. The managerless hosts, was Adam Barrett, not a manager, are now unbeaten in 3 league games, but have still won just 1 of their last 5. Blackburn continued their revival at the weekend, securing an uncharacteristically low-scoring win at home against Herald Bullets. Who's that? Cardiff side. Thanks to a second-half goal from Joe Rankin Costello. John Dahl Tomasson's men have followed up a 4-match losing streak, back-to-back victories. So there you go. That probably saved him from getting the old tin tack if you lose 4 games in a row up there, no? If it was 5, no doubt he would have been fired, and then maybe Gary Rat would have been their new manager. And maybe that's why he was mutually agreed. Maybe he thought there was going to be an opening there. But yeah, they predict Millwall 1, Blackburn Rovers 1. So going for the draw, which... When's the last time we had a score draw against them? I think our last draw was a 0-0, wasn't it? No, 2-2. So 2-2 in 2014. Okay. Have we played them in October? In 1991, we lost 3-1. In 1985, 12th of October, we lost 1-0. 16th of October, 1976, we lost 1-0. 10th of October, we won 2-0. Very first game was the 1st of October 1938, 1-4-1. That's no help. There's no prediction from Sky Sports, they haven't put it up yet. But this game will be on Sky Sports Red Button, and I believe it will be on the Match Pass, Millwall TV Match Pass as well. Pay £10 to watch the game. In the UK as well, not just abroad. I believe that's the case. All midweek games are generally under that umbrella, unless it's a postponed game that gets moved. But here we go. So tomorrow's game, what will it be? What will it be? Like I said, I'm seeing this record that they've got against us and seeing how badly Bart is in goal now. You've got to think if the 50% shots on target to score carries on, it could be another free goal thing at home, which you don't really want to see. Yeah, I'm hoping for the best, but you've got to think bad things are going to happen. So what am I going to go? I'm going to go Millwall 1, Blackburn 3. Millwall 1, Blackburn 3. I don't know. Just seeing this record, this 1 win in 13 games. Or was it 13 or 11? I forgot. 1 win in 11. That's apocalyptic. And you see what happened at the end of the last season. So yeah, I'm gonna go 3-1. Hope I'm proved wrong, but I'm genuinely quite optimistic. I thought we would win 3-0 at Preston, but 3-1 to Blackburn, I'm afraid. Got to be realistic, you know. And on that note, I thank you for watching, and goodbye.